That was
I
loud.
know.
It's always so loud. Welcome to Something Positive for Positive People. I'm Courtney Brame. Something Positive for Positive People is a nonprofit organization that supports people navigating herpes stigma. July 21st, we have our Stars Talk with Dr. Eveline Dacker. This is going to be virtual at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We got about 20 people registered. This is not a free event. It's calling for like at least a little donation of some sort so you can get access to it. But it'll be great. And it's a wonderful tool for navigating relationships, dating, and disclosure if you're somebody who needs that. Even if you're in a relationship, it's good for you to be able to take that and utilize it for check-in purposes with partners and just reevaluate what your desires are in a relationship. I think that over time we grow, evolve, change, and become different versions of ourselves that sometimes we can feel invalidated if the other person is not noticing that or able to support that as well. So it's a really good tool for conscious relationships. All right, but today I have a guest with me today. I'm kicking the dust off. I haven't been doing these interviews as consistently as I normally do. And when we were talking earlier, what made me want to do this was as you were speaking about, like, not, I don't want to use the wrong language, but what you were talking about was
Hmm.
avoiding intimacy in a way, or just not
Yes.
being intimate right now.
Yeah.
And I recognize a pattern. We had our men's group last night, and we
Hmm.
had someone come in, and he was talking about avoiding intimacy as well. And he spoke
Right.
very logically about his diagnosis that he'd only date someone who also had
Yeah.
his type of herpes. And that was often what he would lead with. And what I was learning in that conversation is just how difficult it is to connect when everything is so like systematic, yes, no, black and white. Of
Yeah.
his case, do you have my type of herpes? If no, we're done. And in
Wow.
your case, you just said, I'm avoiding intimacy right now
Yeah.
because you know.
Yeah, I can elaborate. I'm literally about 3 months in. I still don't know what type I have. A lot of people say it doesn't matter, but it matters to me. When I tested, it was too early, so I'll test again eventually. It's just that I suppose it's a me thing more than anything else. This was something I never thought I would get, and then I did. And it was a lot to take in. And I started trying to educate myself because I only knew the basics. I didn't think that people who had herpes were dirty or anything like that. I just thought, well, they've had some bad luck. However, though I have read, I would say I have spent hours and hours reading. I have a fear, which perhaps is irrational, of passing it on unknowingly during my potential, not potential, during my asymptomatic shedding phases, which I will never know about because that's how it goes. Since it's so recent, my reason for staying away from intimacy and what intimacy will lead to, which is sex, because I'm a sexual person, would like to be.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, that's basically it. Right now, I would like to settle for about at least 6 months to see how everything goes. With my
well,
body, I mean, like how often it might pop up and what my triggers are, because I still don't know.
mhm. And with getting herpes, let me ask you this: where are you located?
In Spain.
All right. And is this where, well, you said 3 months. Have you been there the whole time
I've
or
been here for 10 years, yeah.
from where?
Hmm. From Trinidad and Tobago.
Where is that at? I'm not
It's
internet.
in the Caribbean. It's two
Okay.
islands, one little country right above Venezuela. Or if you're starting at the top of the archipelago, we are the last two islands in the Caribbean archipelago.
Okay. I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out the accent. I could not
Well, I
figure
mean,
it
my accent right now is not my authentic accent. I'm not gonna lie. Because when
out.
I'm
Okay.
speaking to people who are not from the Caribbean, my accent automatically changes. Plus, I'm a teacher, so I guess this is my teaching voice.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm the kind of person who thinks that herpes has given me a lot. It's given me a
Yeah.
sense of purpose. It's given me
Hmm.
confidence. It's given me bravery. It's given me community. It's given an outlet
Yeah.
for expressing parts of myself that historically maybe have not had outlets, like
Hmm.
creativity, curiosity, community,
Yeah.
even. And I feel like I've gotten so much out of this. And I'm
Hmm.
hearing you say that you're depriving yourself of intimacy, and it feels like herpes has taken something that you carry a lot of, or that holds a lot of weight for you. Can you speak about that?
I Yes, I would say that you are probably right because I have always loved being intimate, and I would say I'm an extremely sexual person. Um, it's just that it's made me a little uncomfortable right now with
Mm.
myself. I would say you are right. I am now much more careful with myself, in terms of stress, unless it's something I can't control. I've started taking care of my diet better. My life is healthier. And every day I think about it and I say, hey, technically, this has been a good thing because I'm healthier than I was before. So in terms of that, I look at the positive side. I would say I'm just scared
Uh-huh.
regarding sex at the
Yeah.
moment. I'm still scared to venture into that because I don't understand my new body. I'm not going to say my afflicted body or anything. I don't understand my new body yet. And I would like to understand myself first before I go in any direction, whether intimate or sexual. That's my current take on it.
Okay. I have two questions and I want to make
Yeah,
sure to get answers for both. You
yeah.
didn't just say you're a sexual person. I hear people say, I'm a very sexual person, but you said I'm an extremely sexual person. What does that mean for you?
I love sex.
Okay.
I really
Now,
do.
okay, now sex in the sense of like if you love sex and
Mhm.
you're an extremely sexual person,
Mhm.
why? And I guess like the caution of
Yeah.
having herpes and the fear of passing it on to someone,
Yeah.
why does that limit your identity as a extremely sexual person?
Um I think it's just simply that. I mean, as far as I can analyze myself right now, uh like I said before, I don't know my triggers very well, and it's the fear. Like I said, perhaps it's irrational, but it is that fear of perhaps passing it on, even when someone has informed consent. It's always a possibility.
Yeah, but while you're okay, here's where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So sharing my experience, sex
Okay.
has tremendously evolved for me
Mm-hmm.
beyond just where my genitals make contact with
Yeah.
someone else's genitals. And I too, when I was diagnosed, believed that there would be no more sex, there would be no more pleasure. And
Mm-hmm.
that was what I was locked into. But what I've found over the years through various experiences of learning my body is that I've been able to experience sexual pleasure, sensual pleasure in ways
Mm-hmm.
that extend beyond where herpes can present itself. So, on
Yeah.
the shaft of my penis, where I had my initial outbreak and where it is covered by the condom,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that the surrounding areas, that doesn't mean like this little spot on my knee or like my
Yeah.
neck thing, doing things there is going to put anyone at quote risk of
Mm-hmm.
herpes. And I'm wondering, are you depriving yourself of pleasure outside of just your genital area because of this virus?
No. I did venture once or twice. I haven't cut, like, I mean, when I say sex, I'm talking penetrative sex and oral sex.
Okay.
I did venture, but I did invent. I'm not gonna lie. Before it got any further, I made up an excuse so I could go home.
What if
I
this person,
chickened out.
what if this person also had herpes?
I don't think he does. He's
You
an
don't
on and
think he
off long
does?
time. He's an on and off long time lover of mine,
Okay.
who I
So,
recently got back in touch with.
oh, okay. So you haven't talked to him about this yet.
No, not yet, because he doesn't live here.
Okay.
And we had
But
just gone out for a talk. We ended up, it always
yeah.
ends up the same way. And before it could go any further, him asking me to go to his place or whatever, I just made up an excuse and he was leaving the next day. So,
Ah, okay.
yeah.
But I imagine if you didn't have herpes, would you have gone through with it?
Yeah, because that's what we used to do.
Well, okay, so if herpes perhaps is supporting you in breaking a pattern, right? Are
Perhaps.
you glad that you didn't do it?
Yeah, because now I would say I'm going to be a lot more selective.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to scratch an itch for the
Yeah.
sake of scratching it,
Mhm.
because honestly, that's what I used to do. And
Up
so,
until 3 months ago when you
up
got your diagnosis.
until I got my first flare up, which
Okay.
is when I obviously realized that I had it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any connection to what was happening around that time of your life when you had the outbreak?
What do you mean exactly?
Just like, was there, because it's typically triggered by stress or like,
Well, I personally think because of how bad it was, and also I've had two previous partners who had oral herpes. I didn't care about it. They didn't care about it. Over here in Europe, they don't care about it. Even the genital one, they don't really care. Um, and I was with both of those people at different times for years on end, and they had a couple sores here and there. We just abstained until it was completely gone. And as far as I know, I never got anything. I am almost 100% sure that I know who gave it to me, and the symptoms occurred about 48 hours after exposure.
okay.
It was a new
And
partner. I was a few months out of a long term relationship, and that's what happened.
mhm. Did this person disclose to you that they had it?
Well, when I don't know, because when it happened, and he messaged because I had gone quiet because I was trying to deal with it because it was a really, really, really bad first outbreak. The ones that you read about and everybody says, yeah, the first one's the worst and then it gets better, which has been true for me. But yeah, he messaged and I said, oh, I'm having a herpes outbreak. I'm at home. I'm in a lot of pain. Sorry, I'm not in any kind of headspace to talk to you right now. Because I'm going to be honest, either I've had it for a really long time, which I doubt, because I did a test and it was undetectable in my blood. So I think it was you and you're asymptomatic. I said it outright. I said, I think it was you. And he just said, well, I've never had herpes, so feel better. That was that. That was it. No, no sort of, oh my God, I'm going to go get tested. Let me see. No, just, well, I've never had herpes. So that was
How'd
it.
you meet this man?
Through a good friend of mine.
What?
He wasn't just a random guy. I met him through a good friend. And he seemed really nice, to be honest.
Uh,
Very interesting man, very talented, very artistic.
mhm. Oh, okay. Because I was just ready to blame dating apps, and that was not the
No.
case. So, with the second question that I wanted to
Uh-huh.
ask you, because the first one was about what extremely sexual meant.
Yeah.
And my follow-up with what
Mm-hmm.
you were saying was, oh, I guess in the way that you're dating, you said you got out of a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Are you looking for a relationship? Are you looking
Right
to?
now, I would say no, because I
Mm,
think in combination with me getting herpes and coming out of that last relationship, I would say I'm a little emotionally wrung out because I was repressed and depressed in that relationship, and I had wanted out for a really long time. Like I said, I would say I have a very high sex drive in general. Things were good when we met, but it quickly tapered down. People often talk about sexual frequency fizzling out after a few years of being in a relationship. Not for everyone, but it's pretty common. But no, ours fizzled out less than a year into the official relationship. Because he also, and it ended up making me kind of close myself off to him. And I think I was very depressed and repressing myself a whole lot. And
I was
what was
gonna
you
ask
saying? Sorry.
what caused that? What caused the depression and repression? Was it
It
him?
was
Was it
him. It was all him. He lost interest. I was getting rejected. He also had a period of really bad anxiety,
mm,
and that decreased his libido completely, which I understand that can happen to anyone.
yeah.
But he just let it stay at that level. Even when he recovered, he didn't try to let me know that he was ready. Now, you could also blame me, but after getting rejected several times, I stopped trying because it made me feel terrible.
Mm.
And then we just kind of swept it under the rug. And it was, for me, it was always the elephant in the room. Especially if we watched any TV with a sex scene in it, my mind would immediately go to, oh my God, I hope he's not thinking about the fact that we never have sex.
What made your mind go there? Like, why'd you think that?
Well, if me and him would watch any TV, film, series, whatever, uh, and there would be a sex scene, that's just where my mind went.
Mm.
Thinking that, oh, well, we don't do that anymore. I wonder if he's thinking about the same thing.
So it wasn't, I wonder if he's thinking about it so that he initiates with you because you want to have sex with your partner. It was, I don't want to have sex with him, and I hope that he's not getting turned on.
Honestly, after the prolonged rejection, and then him never bringing it back up, and subsequently and consequently me never bringing it back up again, because it turned into this kind of shameful thing for me, and I was embarrassed about it, and I didn't feel sexually adequate, and then I started losing attraction for him, and I didn't love him anymore the same way, and then I kind of just stayed in the relationship out of comfort, and it finally ended.
Mm. What ended it? Who ended it?
He did, which was
Why
really
you
funny.
laughing? Why is it funny?
Like I was there. My friends had been telling me for a year and a half, Jhivan, you need to leave. You need to leave.
Uh,
Um, because you're not happy. Every time we see you together, you guys are not right for each other. He doesn't treat you well. Look at what he's doing to your libido. And I just stayed because it was easier to stay.
yeah.
The reason he broke up with me, I prefer not to talk about it because honestly, it doesn't cast a good light on his character. Let's
Okay.
just say it was not a very logical reason, in my
Understood.
opinion, and in the opinion of my friends.
Okay. When we look at libido in
Yeah,
relationships, I know that we can have such a super high libido and attraction and chemical reaction to
yeah,
someone that is not good for us
yeah.
and stay in the relationship. Or
Mm-hmm.
we can have no libido at all for
Yeah,
somebody who's not good for us and
yeah,
still stay in the relationship because it's
yeah.
easy. And there's no formula. These are just two extremes. Like, I'm so turned on by this person. They're not good for me, but I'm staying. The sex is good.
Yeah.
There was no sex and you stayed. So, what were the
I
benefits to you of staying in the relationship?
comfort. Comfort. Being with him made my life easier in several ways, and it was nice having a person just for me. You know, it's that companionship factor. You have someone to spend the weekends with, someone to travel with, someone to be silly with occasionally, that kind of thing. He wasn't a horrible person, not all the time. I mean, we did a lot of fun stuff together. We took a lot of trips. He showed me parts of Spain that I'd never been able to visit before, simply because I don't drive here. I don't have a necessity to drive, so I never got my license. But he has a car, and we did all these things. We even went on a week-long road trip in the south with my dad last year. But
Oh,
yeah, he just thought eventually that our, I suppose, values in some way didn't align, or our future plans didn't align very well, and that's why he ended things.
oh. Well,
Yeah.
Good for you, right? How
Yeah,
long
I
ago
would
did this?
say good for me. I was relieved when it happened,
Yeah.
to be
How long
honest.
ago did it end?
January of this year. And
So
then I kind of went crazy.
what
Um,
do you
in
want to talk?
March,
Do you want
yeah, I kind of went crazy, and then I got herpes in April.
do you want to talk about the crazy phase, like
Sure,
when
if
crazy?
you want. Yeah, I don't
So
mind.
yeah, what did that look like for you? What does it mean to go crazy
Let's
for you?
see. The timeline is kind of fuzzy. I do have a kind of diary journal where I jot things down, or I think I kept to myself for about a month and a half. And then sometime in March, I did jump on a dating app again. And I somehow found myself with a bunch of, this sounds so bad. I found myself as a cougar.
As a cougar or with a
Yes,
cougar?
I became a cougar.
What
Like,
the age range for cougar? Well,
yeah,
never mind.
I'm not as young as I look. I'm 36.
Okay.
And I ended up with some younger men. They weren't
Okay.
little boys, but just, younger men, like 10, 11-year age gaps.
I got you. I got you.
It was a lot of fun until I met that guy through my friend. And then
How old was
I,
he?
bel he's a couple years older than I am. I think he's
Okay.
38.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he was the first one I met my age. He was mature. He had his life together. His job was incredibly interesting. Like I said, fascinating person. Really
Mm,
liked spending time with him and vibing with him.
yeah.
But before I met him, I was on Tinder and Bumble again, and I ended up with a few younger guys.
Yeah. And so when
It was a
it's so
lot of
funny.
fun.
It's funny that like that was fun for you being able to hook up with much younger guys, and
Yeah,
then
I've never done that before.
when you did what you were quote supposed to do, or something that was like more in your realm,
Yeah,
right, of someone around your age
yeah,
range, that's where you got herpes from. Someone who
yeah,
should
yeah,
be more mature or know better, right? Uh,
yeah.
wow. Did
But
you
if
find
he
yourself?
is, sorry, yeah, you continue.
I was gonna say, did you find that? Well, were there conversations with people about sexual health, and if so, what did those look like?
Honestly, with the younger guys, yes.
Okay,
With this
and
older one, we did not talk about it.
who led those conversations? Was it them or
It's
you?
always me because here in Europe, people don't seem to care very much about sexual health and getting tested. When I lived in the Caribbean and I became sexually active, I was getting tested twice a year.
Hmm.
Because when you grow up in the Caribbean, they instill, at least I don't know if it's still happening now, but I'm a 90s kid. We were the fear of HIV/AIDS was drilled into us from a
Hmm.
very young age, and I grew up terrified of STDs. So when I started becoming sexually active, yes, I went and I tested myself every 6 months
Okay.
religiously. And then when
Okay.
I came to Spain with a boyfriend in Trinidad. This was 10 years ago. I broke up with him after like maybe 8 months into my first year, and I didn't start sleeping with Spanish men until 2017, I would say. And I decided, well, hey, I am having multiple partners again. I need to get tested every so often. I was doing it once a year, or when I had a scare, because these guys up here, man, like I said, they don't care. They have a lot of bacterial STIs, and I got a bunch of infections from people, not bad ones, but just like BV and stuff like that from men, different types of BV.
Hmm.
And my doctor said, Jhivan, you are engaging in dangerous behavior. Why are you coming to get tested so often? And I said, but this is not often. This is normal for me to come and get tested because I know my status, but these guys, they all say they're fine and they have nothing to back it up. So
Yeah.
that's the what did I just say? That's the attitude up here.
Okay.
They think getting a regular blood panel, as in checking your health in general, is good enough, not actually getting an STD panel.
Yeah. When you would initiate these conversations with them, how do
Hmm.
you initiate these with the people that you're dating? Like in a dating sense, what do
Oh,
you do? What do you say?
I just come straight out of it. Be like, hey, so if it's somebody serious, like I'm getting serious about someone, before I realize that it's gonna get physical, I would just come right on and say, hey, so I know my status because I got tested X amount of time ago. What about you? And then the conversation would go from there.
Okay. And do you
Hmm.
find that these men were being
Hmm.
tested more frequently, or did you have to encourage them to go get tested, or what?
It's like I said, once they don't have any physical symptoms of anything concerning, they all say, I'm fine. I've never had anything, or I've
Mhm.
never seen anything on myself.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it. In their eyes, once they don't have physical symptoms, they've never had an STD or STI.
All right. And I always say too that the most common symptom for an STI is no symptom at all. And it
Exactly.
is to, in fact, go get tested. And I was just curious the culture over on your side of the country, because I don't think I really got to dive deep into that kind
Hmm.
of conversation with anybody.
Yeah.
You mentioned when we were messaging one
Yeah.
another that you're wanting to not necessarily take antivirals, but
Mm.
just see what your body does with the virus on
Yeah.
your. And how has that been working for you?
Well, it was literally only 3 months, 4 days ago. Uh, I did get a second flare. Um, let's see when that was exactly. I would say that happened, or I noticed it, the night of the 29th of June. Yep. I had a shower, noticed a little pain, and I looked at myself and I said, oh, hello, there we go again. But, and it was less than 3 months later. And I thought, damn it, I didn't even make the 3 month mark. But I went to the doctor the next day. I said, hey, I need antivirals. She prescribed me for 10 days and it went away quite quickly. I didn't even get any ulcers. It was amazing. Like they were there, they got a bit inflamed. It looked pretty ugly for a little while, but no ulcers whatsoever. And it went away quite quickly. Perfect. A bit of itching, hardly any pain. I was like, this is what the second one is like?
Yeah.
This ain't shit.
So you did take the antivirals.
Yes, what
Okay.
I said before is that a lot of people, even my friends back at home, not though anybody here in Spain, because that's not the culture in Europe generally, but anybody in the US or in the Caribbean, they keep asking me about the possibility of suppressive therapy, where you take antivirals daily for a really long time to suppress the virus in your system. I cannot do that because it's not medically available here. And we don't have systems in the US where you can pay for a prescription online, like an online doctor, and then you get meds delivered to your house. That is not legal in Europe and it's not going to happen ever. And I cannot get those meds without a written prescription from a doctor.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's probably something to take into consideration as well for like as I have communication
Hmm.
with people.
Yeah.
Now, ooh, excuse me.
It's all
Um,
right.
I want to also just shout you out and thank you for your willingness to support me in supporting someone who um, is primarily Spanish speaking.
Hmm.
And I really appreciated that you were willing to help me with that.
No,
Unfortunately, I
no
was
problem.
in the process of learning Spanish, and then
Yeah.
life started lifing, and I
Hmm.
got out of it. I got out of it, like
It
just
happens.
flat out. And maybe I would have been able to be more supportive to him, but
Yeah.
I feel like a sense of guilt for not having continued that practice.
I don't
And
think you need to. You don't, honestly, I can understand why, but you're only feeling it because now somebody has reached out to you and you can't be the one to
so
communicate.
let me there's a little more to it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
was on track for my life to look a certain way, and then
Oh,
I allowed
right.
myself to just get detoured.
Yeah.
And the detour, I believe, just came from, I mean, if I'm gonna just be real, being
Yeah.
nice. And
Yes.
even now it's coming out as like, oh, now I'm guilty for not knowing Spanish for this situation
Mm-hmm.
that there was absolutely no way for me to be able to predict. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I recognize that that's just an expression of it, and I'm working on this. This is something that I
Okay.
am very actively foot on the gas working on,
All
and
right.
that's why I've stepped away from doing like something positive for positive people
Oh
work
yeah.
stuff. So the support groups are still happening. Everything that's in the calendar is happening. This podcast episode, this
Yeah.
recording is me putting a toe back into the water.
I
I mentioned
see.
to you I was rusty, and
Yes.
I'm coming into a place of more stability and groundedness now than I
Mm.
have had arguably over the last year and a half, but definitely this
Okay.
year for sure. So thank you for being my guest, and thank you for, yeah, just like jumping in and engaging,
No.
willing to help somebody. I really find that there's a lot of healing that comes from being able to help other people or willing to give to others what we at some point in time needed for
Yeah,
ourselves.
I agree. Because 3 months ago, which was like yesterday, that's what people did for me. People who have had the virus for a long time, and they were willing to talk me through the first few weeks when I was a mess. And then, everything that they told me, the things that they sent me to read, they helped me educate myself. And I would say after about a month, I was more or less okay. A little paranoid, but I was okay. And
Yeah,
now, some stuff has happened and it's really put it into perspective. So when it went 2 weeks ago, when I saw my second outbreak, I was like, this is nothing. It doesn't even hurt.
yeah, good,
And and it went away in 7 days. So everything is fine.
good.
And
Um,
thank you so much for wanting to have me on. So
Yeah, thanks for being willing to have a conversation. I don't know what it was. Something. It's like when I declared that I was taking a break, I
yeah.
took a break, I stepped back, and all of these things just keep almost like just punching me in the face, like,
Mm,
do this, do this. Like I'm getting these great ideas for how to run something positive for positive people, but I'm
mm-hmm.
really committed to taking a step back and letting the
Yeah.
dust settle because I have
Yeah.
been trying to adapt a lot faster than I've been able to allow for what this is to settle. And it's been 8 years that I've
Mm-hmm.
been able to provide consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to be consistent. I've been able to provide for myself, and
Yeah.
yeah, like it feels like I've been forcefully trying to make this something else, something that it
Okay.
isn't,
Mm.
and it is the thing that I'm trying to make it, but I don't need to go about it the way that I am. So I'm figuring out how to just let
Mm.
this be what it's supposed to be, which is a support resource for people with herpes,
Yeah.
educating people about herpes and minimizing herpes stigma, and not all
Oh
this
yeah.
extra shit I've been trying to do. Because I've been trying to do a lot of extra shit.
And you're just one person. So, take it easy. Remember that you have to take care of yourself as well. However, I will say that you are highly regarded within the community. I found you through Reddit.
Oh, Reddit.
Yeah, you were highly recommended.
People don't reply, like, comment on anything I post in Reddit. I'll come there and be like, "Hey, can I
No,
have
because
some?"
that's the way those subs are. Reddit is ridiculous, but they know. Listen, there are people freaking out there every day. I'm no longer on those subs because it was bad for my mental health. I got
Yeah,
off there after about a month because I said, you know what? No, I need to figure this out on my own. And then it actually helped. But yeah, they know who everyone is. I think who's that girl? Is it Safe Slut?
yeah.
Yeah, they talk about you and her all the time.
Aw, tight. Yeah, we did an event in New York, early March together, and
Yeah.
we had
I
69
think I
people.
saw, did you post about that? I think I saw.
Yeah, it was cool because, like, I don't know what I expected, and I was going through a lot, and she was going through a lot, and I'm so happy
Hmm.
that we were able to just let the event, happen still,
Yeah.
and I didn't expect so many people to show up. I
Mhm.
didn't.
I'm
And
so
so,
sorry to cut you off. My
oh,
computer is about to die.
oh,
So,
okay.
if you, I don't know how much longer you want to go, because if you want to
No,
talk more, I can go get my charger, or we
you know,
can wrap it
it's
up
up.
just before I
Yeah,
run
yeah.
out of juice.
I'm glad you said something. No, but yeah, thank you for naming that. That I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that, you know,
Hmm.
what you just shared. So
Good.
with
I'm
that said,
glad.
is there anything that you want to share that I didn't get to ask you about? If there's anything that you would give to yourself when you were diagnosed that maybe you didn't have, what would it be?
I'm definitely gonna get my charger.
Go,
Please
go.
give me 1 second because I won't be able to answer. It's gonna die.
All right. So with that, I'll go ahead and announce to check out the events tab at spfpp.org so that you can know what's happening. I'm in Brooklyn, New York
Okay.
now, traveling, and whenever I release a newsletter, I'll share updates of things that are happening, podcast episodes, as well as opportunities to meet in person, to have social events, as well as the virtual stuff. So just be on the newsletter. That is the only thing that I can say because social media is not really rocking with me right now. Okay, you're
Okay.
back now.
Yes,
So
I
go
am. Sorry about that.
I'm just stalling. I threw a
I
commercial in
should
there.
have been prepared. I thought I had more battery than I did. Uh, Hindsight is 2020, as everyone knows. Uh, I suppose everybody who has this journey probably has the same thought. I wish I could have told myself it's definitely gonna get better, and even if you do have another flare up, it's not gonna be anything like the first. You don't have to worry. You're gonna feel pretty normal again, and you're going to be able to do most if not all the things you were doing before, because I was pretty afraid to experiment with my diet. I swore off alcohol for at least 6 weeks. Then I dipped my toe back in and I realized, okay, I can tire myself out dancing. I can drink, but it's like I said at the beginning, I'm healthier now. I don't drink anywhere near the way I used to. Not that I drank a lot, but I'll have one drink for the entire night, maybe two. That's it. I can be hot, as in not just physically, but temperature wise. I was worried about I was worried about going home for the summer and being in the heat and worrying about heat being a trigger, but it's really hot over here right now, and I've been okay. I've started wearing tighter clothes again, like tight pants, short pants, and I'm okay. I wish I could have I wish I could have trusted that at the beginning. That's all. And I
Mhm,
think that's what I would want. That's the message I would want to send. Probably sounding like everybody else who's had the virus for a while, but for the vast majority of people, it does get life goes back to normal.
mhm.
I'm still on
Yeah,
that road, but life is pretty normal.
good. And I mean, what's normal anyway? It's different for different people.
Yeah.
So
Well, back
whatever.
to your routine and not thinking about the virus every second of every day, second guessing every decision or choice that you make, that kind of thing. I just don't think about it anymore, and I didn't expect it to happen so quickly.
Yeah, beautiful, beautifully
Yeah.
said. All right, y'all. Thank you for listening. This concludes this episode of Something Positive for Positive People. Please donate to the organization, please. I just moved to New York, and if we want to keep this thing going, we gonna have to do a little bit more than we're gonna have to do more fundraising. I can tell you that now before coming back with whatever changes need to be made. So I ask for you to, if you found value in this, just go ahead, make a donation. It can be whatever. If you decide to make a monthly contribution, weekly, whatever you do, you'll be able to come to the events for free just as support. And what I mean by events, I mean when I do more support groups, some of these are going to be free, some of them are going to be paid. I have to do a better job of screening people coming into this. So that's a whole process. And I'm really working on not doing too much, but just integrating one new thing at a time when the time comes, and also being able to host more of these disclosure workshops and opportunities for people to share about their dating experiences and everything. So Yeah, we need those. But if you are someone who maybe isn't in a position to do that, then you can support the podcast, share something. If you found something valuable out of this, talk to somebody about it. You can leave a review, you can leave a rating, you can like the show, you can engage with my Instagram at Courtney Brame, which is just my first and last name all together, and just help us uplift this. The universe is pulling me to stick with herpes stigma and not try and do all that extra shit that I've been trying to do. So I'm leaning into that and honoring that. And yeah, I'm just looking for support in that. I'm always looking for podcast guests as well. So if you haven't already been a guest, or if you're somebody who's on the fence about maybe doing that, hit me up. And essentially, this is it. The podcasts are kind of like a hybrid between support calls and just an offering to the listeners to be able to just sit in on a conversation between two people about the experience of having herpes. That's all I got for y'all. Till next time, stay present. Here's that awkward time between when you got to go to stop the recording for Zoom and you got to do all the clicking. And now the recording. Oh,